Leaving the ground started with a very small but really impressive moment. I tried to visit a friend at another department in UCL, but somehow the experience felt oddly restrictive. I was stopped by the electrical gate and a security guy as well. It turns out it made me pause and reflect. The campus, which I thought is supposed to be an open social institution, certainly didn't feel as accessible as I imagined. As a social science student majoring in education, my undergrad studies were filled with discussion about Pierre Bourdieus' series of field, capital, and habitats. We talked about elite education millions of times in our lectures, seminars, and essays, but that brief encounter on campus made those theories hit home. Physical barriers in elite institutions, UCL for example, are more than just inconvenience. They reflect credentialism, social division, and exclusion, and so on. This project became my way of flipping abstract literature into real physical action. Inspired by Edward Soldier's concept of the third space, I went from passively reading about academic ideas to actively designing for them. For this project, I learned Rhino for modeling, D5 for rendering, and even got my hands dirty with Photoshop, Illustrator, InDesign, and SketchUp. The goal was simple: to uncover hidden semi-public areas and create inclusive space where interaction can happen, turning overlooked corners in the campus into potential connections. Shadow Within is a response to the stigma I have felt around being emotional sensitive. For a long time, I saw my sensitivity as a weakness, something that made me feel ashamed and depressed. But as I grew up, I realized sensitivity could be a weapon when I defend both myself and others who carry the same emotional burdens. This installation bringing this realization to life. Shadow Within uses real-time coding to simulate dissociation, a protective mechanism the brain triggers when people with CPTSD facing overwhelming emotions. I built the system with Python and OpenCV, using cameras to capture the participants' image and project their fragmented and delayed reflections onto the screen surrounding them. This mirrors how dissociation pulls someone away from reality, offering a safe and controlled space to experience and reflect on this often misunderstood performance. For me, Shadow Within is about reclaiming sensitivity, using technology to reshape how we understand emotions, break stigma, and create space for wider reflection and empathy. Behind me is Shanghai's most famous tourist attraction, the Nanjing Road, and this is where my interactive installation will live. The idea for this project is quite simple. I catch myself whenever I'm in a new city. I won't spontaneously compare it with London or Shanghai, the cities I spend most of the time and know the best. Indeed, I naturally link on familiar cultural symbols, architecture facade, and landscape characteristics to make sense of this new environment I'm located in. But after diving into Eurocentrism in comparative literature, I started to wonder, what if we stop comparing? Can we experience cities for what they are without projecting our own cultural references onto them? Even though Shanghai and Hong Kong share some historical and political connections, they have grown to very distinctive vibes and identities. Each city has its own narratives, yet somehow both cities have a road named Nanjing Road, like a hit-up or a quiet note to this special interrelationship. This installation isn't about comparing or bridging the two. It invites people to experience both cities simultaneously, stepping into that space where their narratives come together and just exist together. I got the design idea from those films where audiences pieces the overall storyline through different characters' perspectives. That is pretty much how I'm doing this design, layering visitors' viewpoints to show how we form an impression about the space, not through a single and straight line narrative, but through layers of narratives that mix, blend, and shift over time.